Well, good morning, everyone. I think it's still morning. Bonjour à tous et à toutes. I am really glad I was able to come to Penobscot today to meet with landowners to learn about their concerns living here among the gas fields. I want to introduce Cynthia McEwen, a local landowner here on my right, and Stephanie Coburn is our candidate in the Sussex riding, and Ira Wilbur, our candidate in Albert County. So I'm pleased to be here today. I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, I know landowners are very concerned in some cases about chemical spills on the well pads on their properties, and that's got to be a pressing concern. Some of these well pads are in a flood zone and should have never been put there in the first place. We have a combination, of course, in this area in the McCully gas field of gas wells that are more conventional in the tight sand, and more recently some that have gone into the shale. The fracking largely here has been done with propane. The Green Party is on record of saying that this is not the future for New Brunswick, that shale gas development is not a road we should go down. There are too many risks and too many consequences so that the costs far outweigh the benefits for New Brunswickers and for our communities. The last thing we want to do is create more sacrifice zones in our province. Pourquoi voudrions-nous des emplois pollutants et dangereux à court terme dans les champs de gaz de schiste quand plus d'emplois peuvent être créés dans l'édification de notre économie locale, forestière et agricole, des énergies propres et dans l'efficacité thermique des bâtiments. En voilà des emplois à long terme propres et sécuritaires pour nos familles et nos collectivités. The opportunities in a new green economy are far greater, and that's what the Green Party would be building, working with our communities and our people and our local communities to do so. We're the only party that has talked about climate change in this election. We're the only party that addresses climate change and the imperative of moving away from fossil fuels in our election platform. The other parties seem bent on selling out our children's future. That's what climate change is going to do. And the harsh reality is, oil and gas is a sunset industry. Oil and gas is a sunset industry. It's not the future. It's the past. And we've got to build a new green economy that creates jobs that are not dependent on expanding our supplies of natural gas or oil, or we will sell out our children's future. It's a moral imperative. On Tuesday, there's a special session of the United Nations been called by the Secretary General on the climate crisis, bringing world leaders together. Stephen Harper has refused to attend. Elizabeth May will be there, and I'm proud she's there. And she will be marching on Sunday in the massive rally in New York City, which will bring thousands of people together to demand action on climate change, demand that we start moving away from a fossil fuel-based economy. I will be marching in Fredericton on Sunday as well, as one of the 1,500 rallies and assemblies that are being held worldwide in solidarity with the group in New York, and to support action at the summit, the climate summit in New York City on Tuesday. The other political parties, all of them in this province, have refused to touch on this subject because it runs contrary to their commitments and their platforms, which will expand our dependence on fossil fuels, which will expand and deepen our economy's addiction to fossil fuels, whether it's increasing shale gas development or building the East-West pipeline to expand the production in the tar sands in Alberta and deliver that product to waiting oil tankers in the Bay of Fundy. This is the 21st century, my friends. This is the century that's got to be green. Il est temps pour un virage vert, bien sûr. So we are at the beginning of a new age. And I'm proud to be leader of a party that recognizes that and is bringing forward a platform and proposals for moving New Brunswick into that new age, into a new green economy, and a party that is taking a moral position that says we have to think long term. We have to think about what kind of future we're building for our children and their children and their children. And that means taking action now to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. We know the local impacts of fossil fuel development, and you're going to hear a little bit about it today. So Cynthia, maybe you could say a few words about your experience with the well pad on your property.
Well, we've had a well pad on our property for quite a while now. We were one of the first in the area. And I guess my concerns are with the environment, firstly and foremost. It is on a floodplain, which floods every year. And also there's been some spills on the pad that haven't been addressed and haven't been admitted to whether it's what exactly it is that's been spilled or whether it will be cleaned up or not. Just concerned really about the environment and the well-being of all the people in Penobscot and in the province that have to deal with situations like this. We've been through quite a lot with the exploration and the wells being put in, and I don't feel that there's been enough taken care of the people. I guess I don't think that we know enough, and they're looking after us properly either.
Thanks, Cynthia. Go ahead.
No, I guess that I could go on for days, but that in a nutshell, that's I guess what it is.
Thanks, Cynthia, and maybe Stephanie and Ira would like to say a few words.
Well, I just think that this is a perfect example here in Penobscot of what a government shouldn't do. The role of government, in the Green Party's opinion, is to help and protect the people and to instead of ignoring the needs of the people and serving the interests of industry. And it's certain that in this province, industry gets first dibs on the government's attention, and the consequences to the people are largely ignored.
Ira, did you want to say a few words?
Hi, I'm Ira Wilbur. I'm the Green Party candidate for the riding of Albert, and my constituents in the riding of Albert are really concerned about the dangers and implications of fracking coming to our area. B55 well in Hillsborough is slated to be fracked in the very near future. We're told that not enough research has been done, but right here in Penobscot, the research is being done, the people's wells are being fracked, and are we paying enough attention to what's happening to these folks right here in our own province? These are our brothers and sisters here in Penobscot, and I just don't feel enough attention is being spent on these folks and letting other folks know what's happening. Thank you very much for your time.
We know that we can create green jobs rapidly in this province. We know that we could create 3,000 jobs in the trades and general labor sectors in upgrading our housing stock and our building stock to help people cut their energy bills, save money on their heating bills, reduce their carbon footprint, and generally upgrade the quality of our buildings and our homes. And that's why in our platform we, unlike any of the other parties, pay particular attention to new investments through Efficiency New Brunswick to ensure that householders and low-income folks and businesses can make those kinds of investments in their homes and in their offices to reduce their heating bills, to cut their carbon footprint, to create jobs and new business opportunities. We're talking about 3,000 jobs in those sectors, and that could happen right away with a modest investment. We're also talking about, on the forestry side, bringing fairness to our forestry system so that 1,000 jobs can be created in the woodlot sector of our forest economy by ensuring that the mills have to go to our woodlots first for their wood and Crown land second. And we know that we could create instantly a couple of hundred jobs in the sawmill sector with fairness in terms of access to Crown lands, so that mills like the one on the Royal Road in Fredericton, like the sawmill in Miramichi, like the plywood mill in Miramichi, could get fair access to Crown wood that's there, that currently is not being made available to them, and they could put people back to work or start to create new jobs. Right now we're talking about hundreds of jobs there. So In a new green economy, there's plenty of jobs, and we know the evidence is so clear that we can create far more jobs in the sunrise industries in a new green economy compared to the old economy that the other parties seem hell-bent on holding on to with the sunset industries epitomized in the oil and gas sector. The Green Party will cancel the leases and the licenses for shale gas exploration and exploitation, and we will not issue any new ones. This is not sustainable, it's not safe, there's no way you can make it safe, there's no way you can make it sustainable. So merci beaucoup. I'll take any questions, and I'm sure the others who spoke will as well.